Everyone.
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
to the taste of welcome to the taste of the mindfulness and movement experience. How many platforms we have going, John?
I think we're on seven. Several YouTube, several Facebook, and a few LinkedIn. So hopefully this is working.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I hope you all are ready for this. This is not the gymnastics seminar. This is a taste of what our mindfulness and movement experience is all about. So I'm going to kick it off, and then each of us are going to share some things a little bit. But um, maybe stand, sit, get in a position that you can be alert for this. Put everything else aside so you can clear your focus for what we have in store for you for this hour. And hold on to those seats. Make sure they're little flexed. That's a little joke, PT joke, but can be just slightly squeezed. All right. So, what is this hour about, everyone? First of all, it's to give you a taste of what mindfulness is, what this movement thing is that we're talking about. Um, our goal is to help you build a lifetime of physical and emotional freedom, right? So that lifetime piece is up to you, but we're here to give you tools during this 21 days. That's what the experience, how long it lasts 21 days. And if you want to continue on with us, great. But at least the bare minimum is 21 days. And in that 21 days, you're going to get a lot of information to include meditations and movements that are going to help you and that you can take with you in your life. So that's the basics. Now, coming up on January 12th, we do have so our mindfulness and movement experience is coming up in 2 days. And the movement side of it, so we've got mindfulness and movement. The movement side is our focus is on low back longevity. So if you are someone who is struggling with like a chronic low back issue or kind of constant flare-ups in your low back, pelvis, hips, thoracic spine, wherever, or just someone who wants to improve their performance in their spine, as well as strengthen their mindfulness practice. And actually, the two go very much hand in hand, which we'll talk about. Definitely look at our January 12th experience, which is the website is here at the bottom of the screen, movement-rx.com/experience. And you can read up about all the things that we're going to be talking about low back wise, as well as mindfulness wise. All right. So moving on. So before we get started on kind of the bread and butter of today, is I want to check in and see how you're showing up. So you can, share this. You can just, ask yourself this as you're watching this. What color are you? Right? Are you green? So you can look at this stoplight. Are you green? Are you completely present with this experience with us right now, this hour, this time, this 1 minute we're in right now? Or are you yellow? You're kind of present. Or are you red? You're completely distracted and you've got 20 to-do lists on your mind, or there's an emergency going on elsewhere. Where are you? Go ahead and ask yourself that. So right now, even though I've got two monitors up, I got all my butterflies out right before this, right, John and Will. I
That's
am
right.
green. What about you guys?
I'm feeling pretty green. Close to the end of the day here, and looking forward to the experience kicking off soon. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty green now that most of the day is behind me, or at least most of the professional day is behind me.
Good. What about you, Will?
I'm green as well. I feel good. Is my mic on? Yes, it is. Okay, yeah. So I just want to be present that my mic's on. Okay, so I'm really present. No, I feel good. I'm always excited for these because we get to invite a new group of people in, to this experience and really kind of switch from, away from the big distractions, away from the I don't know where I am, into more a present state. And that's what this. I'm excited to always do this work with a new group and both of you. So thank you.
Thanks, Will. All right. So ask yourself, what color are you? And wherever you're showing up is okay. Okay. So just know that. The second thing I want to ask you, and you can write this down, is what is one personal and professional? So, excuse me, what is one emotional and physical goal that you have for this year or this next 3 months of your life? Like, what is it? What is the one thing emotionally and physically that you'd like to change? And if you want to answer what's your one professional and personal goal, like, those go with it, right? Like, to be emotionally and physically healthy helps you personally and professionally, clearly. But write that one thing down. Is it you want to be 50% calmer during your day because things really irritate you? Do you want to have, you want to,
Oh,
Oh,
so
lost Teresa.
I think we lost
Uh,
Dr. T.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Uh,
All right. Well, I mean, I'll run with it. So basically, we want to know if you want to be calmer, if you have some type of emotional and physical goals for the year. Maybe, like Dr. T was saying, react 50% less. Maybe respond more, react less. Meditating daily, running that half marathon, running a marathon. I see Dr. T is joining us here again, so I'll go ahead and bring her back on the show. Here we
did
go.
I
There she
just,
is.
oh
You dropped
no.
off.
Okay.
We're all
There you
good.
go. Okay. Oh my
all
God.
We're
good.
all
We are
good.
very present to the fact that you dropped off, Dr. T.
I
It's
was
all
so in
good.
the
So
flow. I was like,
you
what happened?
We're
Okay.
flowing with a new vibe right now. It's
Okay.
beautiful. Bring it,
You know
Dr.
we're
what?
T.
all
I
We love
good.
think
you.
this, so now that we've got so my goals is to, my goals is to stay present and on camera and the Wi-Fi to not drop, but that doesn't happen. So what are we going to do about it? Just show back up. Just keep
That's right.
going. Keep moving forward. Okay,
Hey,
guys, thank you for having.
I just want to point out how calm Dr. Teresa is after dropping off, after preparing for this presentation, dropping off, and then coming back so calm, cool, and collected. And that's because she is mindful and she practices mindfulness and meditation and movement. So good job, Dr. T.
Thank you so much. I am just sweating like a horse. Okay, so moving on. I want to introduce you to the guides, and the main crew is right here, right in front of you right now. But it is a very special team that I'm very proud of, and I'm proud that we've come together. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Here is me. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. Well, I'm much more than what I do, right? I'm a human being. I love to laugh. I love to smile. I love to work with good people. I love to help people. But my profession, I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I'm a strength and conditioning specialist and a former Marine officer. And I created this mindfulness and movement experience with John and with the help of Will to give people something that they're not getting already. There's a lot of different training programs out there, meditation apps, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times people start at a level that they can't stay consistent with. And or they just cannot stay consistent with any one thing, and or don't even know where to start because there's so much stimulus out there. There's 100,000 different meditation apps, right? Lots of different kinds of training programs. So where do people start? And that's where this program comes in. It helps you figure out where to start. Because I've been there. I didn't know where to start at one point in my life, and now I do. So I like to kick it over to John McCaskill. Go ahead,
All
John.
right. Thanks, T. Hey, John McCaskill here, as the slide says, retired Navy SEAL commander, and now a mindfulness and meditation coach. And those two don't normally come together as a natural progression or a natural transition. But I personally had my own struggles with stress, anxiety, depression within the military, and eventually got introduced to mindfulness and meditation. And I attribute those two to saving my life. And what mindfulness and meditation are: mindfulness is one thing, meditation is another. They come together and support one another. We'll get into that both in this experience and a little bit here today. But that's a little bit about me, a little bit personally about me. I'm married to a beautiful woman out here living in Colorado Springs with 3 young children, all under the age of 5. So you can imagine my house is pretty chaotic at times, and I need mindfulness and meditation to make it to the end of the day. Every day, my wife and I look at one another and we say, still alive, and we've got this. And again, we attribute that to mindfulness and meditation in our house and with our children. So that's a little bit about me, and over to Will.
Well, hi. But John, you forgot about your 2 horses and 5 cats
Uh,
or something? Is that what?
two horses, 2 cats, a couple of chickens, a lot of stuff. Oh, and I got to also mention why I'm wearing this hat. Men Talking Mindfulness. That's the podcast that Will and I run together. We co-host it and produce it together. So if you get a chance, check that out because we have partnered with the Mindfulness and Movement Experience at Movement RX. So that's all about me. Back over to you, Will.
Yeah. Hey, so Will Schneider here, coming to you from New York City. I've been practicing and teaching like mindfulness and breath work and yoga for almost 20 years now, which is quite a long time, even just to say that. But what I really enjoy about this program, what I enjoy, or the way that I continually try to teach, is just from that basic level. Because even as we continually work from that basic level of understanding our breath and getting into our body and knowing ourselves emotionally and understanding the elements and the principles of meditation, it's those foundational elements of mindfulness are something that I enjoy teaching, but it's also something that I enjoy reminding people to come back to, because that's really where this experience begins to take off. And any experience you're going to have with mindfulness comes back to just find your breath, know where you are, find your feet on the floor, all these very, very simple things. And I'm excited to bring another cohort on to work with these simple practices. So I've been in New York for a while teaching pre-pandemic in the yoga studios and private students for quite a long time, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been running retreats until that kind of part of my business blew up because of COVID. But I think it's all been a real great blessing as well, because we have found Men Talking Mindfulness. We've aligned with Movement RX to create this experience for you guys, and it gives us the opportunity, and me the opportunity, to reach a broader audience all over the country, all over the world. Personally, I'm still single. I have a girlfriend that I love very much. I don't have any kids, so I have a lot of free time. So I actually kind of practice a lot, journal, and really try to continually work on myself and be a better person. And I have a lot of great friends, and I have been able to travel a lot over the years, and it really has helped me, be more of a better person, to see and be in different environments, and to realize that we're all just human wanting the same things. So, yeah,
Love it,
been
Will.
fun. Thank you.
Well, Will, you can always come and move to Colorado. And my 2 little ones would be happy to hang out and play with you if you need
I
something
love
to
hanging
do.
with kids. Kids are the best. I love it.
So
Soon enough, Dr. T.
yeah, I'm very thankful to work with these 2 guys, John and Will. They're like brothers, and it's one of the most powerful teams I've ever been on, actually. Mindfulness has been a big part of my healing journey personally. So to be able to bring a couple of gentlemen in who are very good about teaching it and talking about it and live it, don't just talk about it, but actually live it. I haven't had the luxury of meeting Will in person yet, but I will. But I met John, and I can imagine that Will, just like meeting you in person, you're the same in person as you are online, right? Good people. And that's what they are. So I'm very thankful for that.
I'm much
For you
taller, Dr.
guys.
T. I'm much taller. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well,
Look at
we'll
how long
see.
my arms are. Look, I'm just kidding.
That's good. I like to hang out with people I can look in the eye. I think it's old looking at all these short people. All right. So this is the rest of the team.
I know, right?
Okay. No, I have nothing against short people. Actually, most of my friends are short people too. So this is the rest of the team, everyone, from Movement RX. We had a little team party before I actually moved to Durango, Colorado. I was living in San Diego. That's where I, was in the Marines and started my business, Movement RX, about 8 years ago now. So my husband is front and center, and he runs Movement RX. He does a lot of behind the scenes. And then I've got my 2 little ones in there, and then some of the coaches. We got a nutritionist on staff, and a couple other PTs who are amazing, amazing practitioners. So it's a wonderful team. We have a lot of fun, as you can see, because it's always nice to hold a little bit lighter to life, right? And what's important about that is that you surround yourself by people that do that too. Life doesn't have to be so serious. All right, so here we go. Pyramid of physical and emotional freedom. What is that? So if you look at this is something we created a while ago. But if you look at the it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at the top layer, that's typically number 4 is where people like to start, right? That's where they think they should start. I need to jump right into like doing 7 days of CrossFit, or I need to just train 3 hours a day to do a Spartan race, or whatever it is, right? There's no judgment here. It's just some people, a lot of us think like we have to jump in. If that guy's meditating, then I should probably be meditating an hour too, or I should be meditating twice a day to get any kind of benefit. Well, not necessarily, because if that's not realistic for your life, if you have a family, right? If you have a business, and you like to do other things besides work out and meditate, then you might not stay consistent with that. And oftentimes people don't. They are not able to stick to these big expectations they put on themselves. So the point is to start at number 1, right? Like the proper progression to get yourself healthy and fit. There's a progression to it. So wherever you're at on the spectrum of human movement, whether you're like a very high performing Olympic, Paralympic athlete, or you're just someone coming off the couch, there still is a progression to getting healthy and staying healthy. And yes, Olympians and Paralympians still need to get healthy too in some degree. It might be a smaller degree, but it's still a degree. We could all get a little bit better. So with this pyramid, we align it with the weeks on the mindfulness of movement experience. So the best place to start, and this comes from my strength and conditioning knowledge and physical therapy knowledge, is to start at layer 1, system down regulation and mindfulness. This is week 1 of our program. System down regulation is your nervous system, creating less tension in the nervous system. We do that through breath work. We do that through different techniques and movements, right? To decrease tension where your brain is telling you there's a threat. Okay. The other one is the mindfulness, bringing awareness to the way you are in the world. How are you treating those in front of you? How are they interacting back with you? How do you treat yourself? Are you being present with what you eat? Are you being present with how you move? What part of your movement bothers you, or, things like that. Being more aware of how you are in the world. That's layer 1. And that's a very, very foundational layer. Layer 2, which is week 2, is joint and soft tissue health, and then meditation. All right. So the week 2 of our M2 experience, we focus on doing more joint and soft tissue mobility, flexibility, and stability exercises, which is like building control of movement. All right. So we add a little bit of layer to that down regulation now. And on the mindfulness side, we add a layer, we add meditation to it, right? We add a little bit more time to your meditations, a little bit more things to think about after the meditations. Layer 3, that's week 3 of the mindfulness and movement experience. That's where we focus on movement patterning, where we really get into the primal movements and start applying that mobility, stability, and down regulation that you've all already worked on to movement patterns now. Now that you have a little bit more flexibility in your body, now let's actually move in that new flexibility and teach you how to hold your posture and do the primal movements like squat, hinge, push, pull, carry. And then add in food, right? Food always isn't the first layer. It can be it's the third layer, right? Oftentimes when we're not being aware and we're tense and we're stressed, we just eat. Where the point is we want to decrease that tension and stress and then start to think about the food that we're eating, right? And then the mindset patterning. Now that we're more aware and we're more mindful in our life and we started to meditate, now your world is going to become a little bit more vast than it was, right? So now you're going to start to think about some of these cyclical patterns of thinking that you have that may not serve you. And over time, you can start to let those go, right? Depending on where you're at. And then there's week 4, right? Week 4 is when we, that's the end of the 21 days and the beginning of the next phase of our experience, if you want to join us for that or not. But that's the phase where now you've got habits started. It's 21 days. It takes 66 to 70 days for a habit to become automatic. But now you've got this habit started. And now you can start to add load to those movements. Now that you're moving better, you have a little bit more flexibility. Now you know what to do to build the flexibility in those areas you need, and you've got better movement patterns. Now you can add the resistance to those. All right, so that's how the layers go: week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So now I want to go into what is this whole mindfulness and what does the movement piece entail in a little bit more depth. And I'm going to kick it over to John to talk about mindfulness.
Yeah, so I will, like you said, I'll talk about the mindfulness piece, and then we will see how the mindfulness and the movement come together in the mindfulness and movement experience, because the mind and body are inextricably intertwined. As you work on one, the other improves, and vice versa. And we want to work on both of them together for you so that you can live that lifetime of emotional and physical freedom, like Teresa talked about before. But specifically the mindfulness side, what this is going to look like, mindfulness and meditation. So why do I say that? Mindfulness is a way of living. Meditation is a formal practice, and we'll actually do both of those in this mindfulness and movement experience. This is what the mindfulness piece looks like digitally. You have an intro during the actual experience with me talking about a lot of what I'm talking about right now, the difference between mindfulness and meditation, how they support one another, and where there's overlap. But we'll get further into the experience and get further into deeper and more extensive meditations. We'll cover things that include letting go of your story, peace with pain, equanimity, loving kindness. But we do one meditation per day through the 21 days, and they are all pre recorded, and you can access them on your own time during that 21 days and really start to develop, like Teresa said, that habit of practicing meditation and living mindfully. We'll do mindful meals so that you actually stop, look at the plate that's before you, take in all the senses, and you turn off all the other distractions in your life. We'll do mindful pauses, and then we'll do the formal meditations, and they complement one another. As you meditate more regularly, you're going to live more mindfully. As you live more mindfully, meditation will become easier. So that's how the meditation works. And this, again, is what it looks like digitally. As far as the rest of the program, if you could get the next slide there, T, we'll be doing weekly check-ins. We'll be doing the different meditations. What the weekly check-ins look like, that's literally a Zoom call with the participants in the experience, where we all come on and talk about a different theme or share our experience with the experience. Maybe share some challenges with the experience. Maybe some things bubble up during a meditation that you haven't experienced before and you want to address that. We're there to support one another in that kind of in those check-ins. We also have applied mindfulness mini sessions. That's where we'll bring in some of the other coaches that Teresa showed you in the picture before, where we'll just discuss mindful nutrition, mindful running, fit and free classes, and how that all ties together. And then finally, talking about the tribe that we have with our private Facebook group. Now, we don't necessarily want to put more on your plate by saying, hey, you have to join this Facebook group. It's free and open to join if that is something that you want to do, but we're not going to obviously force you to do it. But what's nice about the Facebook group is that it offers you this tribe. We post in there what we're doing, what we as coaches are doing, but also the other participants post about what they're doing within the experience, their experience with the experience. And it offers you another sense of accountability, which is one thing that you don't really get with some of the meditation apps that are out there with Insight Timer, Calm, etc. Now here in this mindfulness and movement experience, you have a tribe that is there to hold you accountable, to make sure that you are in fact doing the work, if you so desire, again, to be part of that Facebook group. So that's how the mindfulness piece, the mindfulness challenge within the overarching mindfulness and movement experience works. Now, let's do some meditation. All right, so go ahead and jump into, or assume rather, a comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you. I'm going to take off my hat. You get to look at my bad hair. That's always a winner for the audience, as they get to see what this hair looks like underneath the hat. And let's go ahead and get into that comfortable position. Again, whatever that looks like for you. And if closing your eyes is comfortable, I invite you to do that. Otherwise, just soften your gaze. And let's bring our attention to our breath. We're just going to focus on the physical sensation of breathing right now, not forcing anything, not feeling as though we need to really take a deep breath or a deep exhale just yet. Just noticing the physical sensations that are attached to natural breathing, your natural breathing rhythm. Noticing the lungs expanding, and as your lungs expand, how your diaphragm drops, pushes your belly out. That's all on the breath in. And as you breathe out, the reverse happens. The diaphragm pushes the lungs up, lungs shrink, chest and belly shrink. You notice that physical sensation. And then note where the air is entering your body. As you breathe in, notice if it's through your nostrils. Notice that very point, that very fine point where the air is entering your body, that physical sensation associated with that. And then as you exhale, ideally through the mouth, notice where the air is exiting and the difference in the temperature even between the air that you breathe in and the air that you breathe out. And now let's together do 3 deep breaths, focused breaths, intentional breaths. Here you will be controlling the in and out breath. Let's begin by taking a deep breath out, letting that air out and bringing your navel to your spine. Hold at the bottom, nice and empty. And now deep breath in, ideally through your nose, expanding those lungs. Hold at the top and let it go nice and slow. Slow, slow. Holding at the bottom once more. Noticing that feeling of emptiness. Breath in. Deep, expand those lungs, expand that belly. Hold at the top. Noticing that sense of fullness. And release, nice and slow. Slow, slow. Hold at the bottom. One more. Deep in through your nose. Really filling up that those lungs and your belly. And hold. And release, letting it go. Relax, relax, relax. And now just go ahead and breathe naturally. And bring your attention to your feet or wherever you are grounded. Notice what that feels like, your feet grounded to the earth. If you're sitting down, notice your legs, the back of your legs against your chair, your back against the back of your chair if you have one. Notice where your hands are and what they're feeling. And as you're doing this, if you've noticed that your mind has wandered off, just gently notice it and gently bring yourself back. Don't get frustrated. It's perfectly natural and it's expected during a meditation that your mind is going to wander off. Just bring it back to the point of focus. Let's move that point of focus to our shoulders and move from our shoulders up the back of our scalp to the top, to the very top of our head. Noticing the physical sensations there, continuing down into our forehead, temples, jaw. If your jaw is tight, go ahead and let it hang loose a little bit. Relax that jaw. And you come full circle back to your nose and your mouth, noticing the physical sensation of breathing there. And let's close with one deep cleansing breath together. Begin by breathing out all your air. Nice deep sigh out. Deep breath in through your nose. One last sip in and relax, letting it go. And as you let go, imagine your tension, any heartache, any pain, leaving your body with that last breath out. And now start to bring some movement back into your body. Maybe moving your head around, start to blink your eyes open if you're closed. Otherwise, just refocus. And here we are in the here and now. Thank you so much for letting me lead that meditation. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Dr. T.
Thank you, John. First of all, that I love, I always love your meditations. And coming from you and Will, I mean, but between you both, you probably have 40 plus years of experience with, I mean, John, you've had 20 plus years in the Navy working with SEAL teams. Will, 20 years being a yoga instructor as well as training in mindfulness. John, you training in mindfulness the last decade. Like that experience and knowing who you are behind the voice is actually, I think, very powerful. And also something that's missing. We're very, Movement RX as a company is very involved in the fitness industry and has been so for a while. But I can tell you what, the one thing that's missing is that sense of connection with who that instructor is and actually getting to know them and actually having them be your guide and walk you through a journey. So that's what's really powerful. And thank you, John, for that.
My pleasure.
That I want everyone to ask themselves now, like that first question of what are you, red, yellow, or green? What are you now? Is there been a shift in your attention? And what is it? You can just take mental note yourself or write it down. So now let's go into the movement piece. Okay, so the movement piece is really where my wheelhouse is as a PT and a strength coach and someone who loves movement. And actually in my past, I actually abused movement at one point. I was an exercise addict as well as had an eating disorder. And now the fact that movement is my medicine, but I do it in a healthy way, and I can progress it. And I'm helping others around the globe find where to start with their movement and healing has been very powerful for me in my own journey. But here's a little bit. So with on the movement side, there's so much that we could cover, right? Like there's the primal movements, there's different body parts and whatnot. So each experience covers one major area of the body. All right. So we run experiences every 6 or 8 weeks, but with each one, there's a different movement focus. Whereas the mindfulness stays very steady. The movement, maybe one time we'll focus on low back, the shoulder, the knee, or anything else that's coming up that people are requesting from us. And we make sure that those 3 to 4 weeks of content is focused around that specific body part and the movements that are impacted by it. So from a digital perspective, this is kind of what you'll see is with each day, you'll get a mindfulness meditation. And then you'll also get a video of a technique in a progressive manner, one technique a day that will improve that body part that we're focused on. So that's kind of exciting. And our videos are anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. So very digestible, easy, something you can watch from your phone or your computer. And there's audio and you can also read it too. So that's the thing. Every day you're going to get yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I lost you there.
Did you hear
Audio
me?
for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Back on.
Yes,
Okay.
back on.
Still making me sweat like a horse. Okay.
Rolling with the punches.
Rolling with the homies. Okay.
I was able to hear you, Dr. T. So
okay. It's probably
I
just
think
my
we're wrong.
side.
I think we're good. Yeah.
You just need to clean out those ears a little. Okay.
Be
Moving
more
on.
mindful about my hygiene.
Playful banter isn't bad, everyone. So
Right.
Here's an overview of the movement sessions you get. So you got all those mindfulness ones that John talked about. Here are the movement ones, and understand that all of this is all of these are recorded. So if you cannot make any live sessions, or you get off work at 10 o'clock at night, and you want to listen to the sessions then or do a class, go for it. Right? We have lots of people who are doing shift work. So you get 21 pre-recorded body-focused mobility, stability, and movement drills to improve longevity in the said body part that we're focusing on. You get weekly Dr. T routines, Dr. T time, I call it, You can bring your tea or your coffee, but definitely bring your comfy clothes because we're going to do a joint routine that's focused on the joint body part we're focused on for that experience. And I love it because that's a chance for me to do some prehab, some rehab, answer your questions, kind of get into the nitty gritty. Maybe a doctor told you something and you have a question about a diagnosis, right? Those are times it's ask what you want. And if I don't have an answer, I've got a great referral of health providers at my fingertips that can help you. And then the last thing is we do have live movement classes. We have yoga, which Will teaches, which I love, strength-based yoga. We've got fit and free, and then we've got a running class. And then whatever the group requests, we have applied mindfulness sessions that our doctors of PT and our strength coaches can present on. Now, one of our PTs is actually doing her PhD in sleep science. So that's one of the benefits of this program too, is we give a lot of sleep information because I know that sleeping is really important. For me, as a young mom of young children, I should say, not a young mom, and working with these two, running this business, like, sleep is one of the best drugs we can give ourselves, best actions we can give ourselves. So learning more about how to do that physically in your environment can be very helpful. All right, moving on. So ask yourself this. If you could heal one thing about your physical health, what would it be? I know I asked you at the very beginning, but ask yourself that again. And then ask yourself, how would healing this one thing improve your quality of life? Like, why is that one physical thing that you want to improve upon so important to you? Right? That understanding that why is really, really, really important. Maybe it's you want to improve your low back strength so you can play for hours with your grandkids or with your kids, or you can go skiing or snowboarding, or you can shoot hoops, right? Whatever it is, why is that so important? So you can feel a little bit younger, so you can get outside and actually enjoy the outdoors without being in pain. Maybe that's it, right? Ask yourself that. And just if you don't remember anything about why movement is important, and you might think like, yeah, movement's important, but remember this, motion is lotion. When you move those joints, when you move that body, there are optimal ranges of motion, optimal movement patterns that we want to have and work towards, right? Motion is lotion for our body and joints. So if we don't move it, we're going to lose it over time. But if we move it, we gain it, right? So that's more on the positive side of things. We like to think positively here. But I am going to kick it over to Will now, because Will is going to take us through a taste of the yoga, strength-based yoga that he teaches. And he will get you doing this on a iced over lake here in Colorado by the end of this experience. Just kidding.
Yes. Oh, wow. Thanks for that build up. Now I'm really nervous. I'm sweating like a horse. Is that what we're saying nowadays?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Right. So, well, first I just want to talk about yoga a little bit. I mean, because it is kind of very strange for people. But also what I'll add, motion and lotion. But if we begin to move, we can change. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing about yoga is really it kind of brings a lot of the mindfulness and meditation that we're going to work with John, the movement stuff that Dr. T and her PT pros are going to help us do. But yoga kind of brings them all together, because really what yoga is another, it's not just physical awareness, but really what I like to think of it as making contact, right? And what are we making contact with? Making contact with our body, but also with our body in space. So we're going to be doing that in different poses, and also balancing as well, and strengthening. And a lot of these poses that we're going to do are going to be to release a lot of the office postures, the hunching that we kind of do all day, which weakens our body and stiffens our body. So we really want to stay nice and flexible and have the energy running nice and smoothly. We're also going to be continually kind of adding on to what John's going to be teaching us about the breathing. I'm going to be bringing a lot of that into the yoga class as well. So we begin to make more contact with our breathing, which is so important. And it's not just moving the body around in certain ways, but by connecting with the movement, it not only helps us to become more present and understand where we are in this space, but it helps us to begin to become more aware physically so we can align properly. And also in the process of or kind of this theme of making contact, we're going to get more in contact with our emotional self, because I am going to continually challenge you, whether it's balancing, whether it's holding some kind of strength posture, whether it's trying to open up your hamstrings or your back for an extended period of time. Your emotional self is going to show up. And this is a huge opportunity to begin to develop more emotional intelligence. So we can begin to get to know that voice that was always telling us how much we suck or how much we can't do something. What if we begin to take those steps back, try and see what we are able to do without those voices in our head? So that's like a big part of yoga as well, is getting into that emotional experience. So let's actually do a little bit of movement right now. So we're going to keep it real basic. Like I said, John's all pumped up, right? Beautiful, guys. So we're going to open up our body a little bit. We're going to do some, so maybe get some space. I think you guys can all see me. You can see me in my apartment. All right. I'm going to try to get my head in this as much as I can. Awesome. Good. So we are just going to simply take a nice wide stance. I want your feet to be a little wider than your hips, right? And we're just going to start to bounce in our pelvis, right? So just start to shake. Just start to shake in our pelvis, right? So we're pushing ourselves away from the floor. My knees are bending. Yeah, good. And then, John, we're going to kind of shake out the wrists a little bit, allow the shoulders to kind of bounce up and down, right? And let's find that breath, right? The energy of the breath, right, is going to help move and change the energy in our body, right? Take a big breath in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Let's do a couple more like this. In, big breath, big. Good. Exhale out. Good. One more. Inhale. Good. Awesome. Exhale it out. Good. Now let's stay in that nice long stance. Okay. Maybe bend knees just a little bit. So not locking out the knees, because we want to stay in our body, right? Our joints join things together, right? That's why it has the word join in it. Just add the T for Dr. T. Okay, here we go. Palm your elbows.
Good, Will.
Right?
Good.
So we're going to go. I want to pull the elbows in line with the ears. Okay, that's going to help open up underneath our shoulders. We're just going to go back and forth. Nice and easy, right? It's a nice little lateral flexion of the spine. We're going to work a lot with the spine in yoga class, because it really is the central line of our energy, right? It's also the central alignment tool of our entire body. Right, keep going back and forth, but let's also try to find the breath with it. Let's do 3 breaths in through the nose, and let's exhale out gently through the nose. Let's do 2 more. In, back and forth. Good. Exhale out. Good. We'll do 1 more. Inhale. That's it. Exhale out. And let's take a nice hang. So we're going to take the same stance. All we're going to do is drop down and take a nice fold down towards the floor. That's it. Good. So we're going to, yes. All we're going to do is fold, and want to palm those elbows and just sway side to side, back and forth. Nice and easy. Let your head nod yes and no. Right. So just stay heavy. And just get heavier. You can feel your body, the weight of your body opening up your back. Really just focusing on the back here. If you want to get deeper into the legs and your hamstrings, lengthen the legs a little bit. You want to go into the shoulders, interlace your fingers behind your back, and bring your fisted hands over top of your head. And just keep dropping down. Let's just find a few more breaths here. That's it. Yeah, we're still folding, John. That's it. Yeah, try to draw those hands over your head if you can, John. That's it. Yes, good. Towards your head. Good. 2 more. Nice. Maybe seal your hands together nice and tight, Dr. T. You'll find more of the shoulders. Yes. Good. 1 more breath, everybody. Great. And then slowly let the hands drop down to the floor. Let the head dangle nice and heavy. And let's roll up the spine nice and easy for the count of 5. Keep the knees bent. Push away from the floor. 4, 3, good. 2, 1. Awesome. All right, good. Let's stay, guys. Let's take our hands, right? Let's interlace our fingers. Push the palms away from you. Okay? Good. So really opening up those wrists and those forearms. Take the arms all up to the sky. Take a big inhale. Good. Exhale. Bring it down. Push the hands out. Let's do some simple. Bring the hands all the way in. Keep the chest open, nice and tight. Right? Exhale. Move the hands out. Inhale up. Pull the elbows in line with the ears. Good. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it in. Keep the chest open. Good. One more time. Exhale, push the palms away. Right, try to get all the fingers of all the webbing of your fingers together. Good. Inhale up. Good. Exhale down. Inhale, come to the chest. Good. And let's seal those palms together nice and tight. Okay, we're just going to slowly do some wrist rolls here, little figure 8 rolls with the wrist, right? Keeping that mobility. We do so much interface with our technology that we're typing and texting, and we really want to keep the body nice and open. So just rolling the wrist, a nice little figure 8 for a few more. Yeah, the wrist, Dr. T, the wrist. There you go. There you go. Good. And go the other way. This one I get really like. I could probably see. Like, how you doing, John? Right. There we go. Good, guys. Very, very nice. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna be doing. There's a lot more to do. Every class is. We can take a seat, guys. We're gonna close with some. We're gonna always open class with some grounding practices. Just doing some simple breathing and checking on ourselves. We're gonna open up and kind of like I like to think of the practice as like a snow globe. So we kind of burst this snow globe, turn it over, mix it all up, and then we ground it all down with this new kind of information, this new EQ, this new wisdom about our body and ourselves and our breath. And then we just take a simple meditation and close our practice. And what's nice about these practices, they're very simple. Anybody can do them, but also you can go back and do them again and again and again. Because if you have a tight hip or a tight back or your shoulder is kind of tight in some ways, then it might be, I definitely suggest that you go back and those practices or those poses that really challenge you. And Joseph Campbell says, where your struggle is where your treasure lies, right? Those are the areas that you can not only open up your body and kind of free up that energy and give yourself more mobility, but it's also a time to see the mind and get deeper into that emotional space as well. So it's a really wonderful holistic practice, and that's why it's been around for 5,000 years.
Just that long. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Yeah, that's
not a big deal.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Thank you, Will.
You're
that
very
was
welcome.
outstanding. I appreciate that. I love your energy on teaching yoga, and I have been attending all of Will's classes on the platform, so it's quite fun. And I think my favorite session was when we had an individual coming on from his workspace in DC in his work clothes and still participated. It's great. We got people from all over. So
come on. Yeah, you're very welcome. Right. Come on, come on, for sure. And we do have a lot of fun. I deliberately make it fun because we're gonna fall as we try to balance. Like even on 2 feet, you'll be falling over, and it's just like when we can begin to laugh at ourselves and we can have a greater kind of reflection on ourselves instead of being so harsh and negative and pejorative and those kind of things.
Yeah. No, thank you, Will. And I appreciate how you shared how yoga can bring the mind and body. It helps us understand it better, how they're so connected. Because with yoga isn't typically a fast practice. It's forcing us to slow down and pay attention to the movements. And like you said, it's been around for 5,000 years. And to do yoga, you need to express full ranges of motion and movement, or that's ideal. If you're not able to do that, that's where having coaches like Will come in. However, it is part of that bottom layer of downregulation and mindfulness. It ties those two together. And so you add a strength-based yoga practice like you teach, Will, to each week. Your level of understanding of your body and mind grow. But yoga is a big part of tying those two, the emotional and physical, together. So thank you.
Thank you.
And therefore, like as you get to phase 4, week 4, and you start to add load, yoga is, it tests your primal movements. So by the time you get to week 4 and you're doing these movements well and you feel less tension and you feel calmer, that's the time you can now add a little more resistance to the movement. So again, this isn't something that I don't expect you to understand all of this like right now, because this is a process. And so John and I want to take you on that process. We love it. So
this isn't just an intellectual pursuit. This is like a physical practice, practical, pragmatic, all those P words. And
The P
yeah,
word,
so anyway,
yes.
yeah, but not perfect, right?
Passionate,
Passionate, yes.
persistent.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I want to share with you now that you have an idea of, okay, this pyramid where we're starting, how the weeks go. There's a mindfulness and a movement component. Okay. At a minimum time requirement, right? We're asking you to commit to 10 minutes a day, the mindfulness and the simple movement routine pre-recorded. If you want to add more to that, great, go for it, right? There's a lot available to you. But there's 6 pillars to the mindfulness experience, and I want to just kind of explain how the 21 days is layered. So you get an idea of like, okay, where's the start? Where's the finish? How does it all work? So this is kind of, this is the experience page that we set out, but we have always a kickoff. So January 12th, right? Your last day to sign up for this thing is tomorrow, January 11th, but so how this all starts, John, I see you smiling. Okay. So it all starts with a kickoff ceremony. Okay. So the kickoff ceremony is where we disclose like how the platform works, how you log in, where the courses are, like the schedule, all that stuff. Right. So you won't feel like you're missing out on anything. The second piece to this is you do a self-assessment. Yes, we want to collect data for you. You want data on how you're doing, but also we want to see how far you've come over the 21 days, and we want you to see how far you've come. So we look at perceived stress, we look at perceived resilience, we look at perceived pain, and we also look at your movements. We look at 11 key movements. Are we still there, John?
Got you, Dr.
Hello?
P.
Okay.
I got you. Yep.
I didn't see our videos.
Yeah,
okay.
We're still here. Sorry.
Just making sure. Starting to sweat again, guys. Come on.
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
We're just having
So
fun, being authentic.
Okay, I see. All right. So workshop first. There you go. Then we have the self-assessments. The third pillar is those daily mindfulness RX meditations you get, 1 a day. And then there's the daily movement RX, 1 movement a day. And total, right, between the 5 to 10 minute meditation and the 30 seconds to 2 minute video you watch for the one technique you do on a specific body part, that's your daily RX, right, for movement and mindfulness. And at a minimum, that's what we want to do. And we've seen, actually, research shows after just 4 days of doing some mindfulness meditation and movement, like you'll see the functional gains in your life, as well as clarity and thought. And then the 5th and 6th piece of the pillar is the tribe. That's a huge, I think John, Will, and I didn't realize how important this piece was when we first started this thing. Like, it is really powerful. The monthly member check-ins that we have, as well as the weekly check-ins that we have with the experienced members, it's really powerful. The people, the things that come up, the stuff that people are dealing with. Everyone looks different on the outside, right? And looks like they're dealing with different stuff, but underneath the surface, we all struggle very similarly. And when we can go together, we can actually go further together, heal faster together than by ourselves. So there's a lot to this tribe. And then the 6th thing is bonuses and prizes. We work with TRX, we work with Brainco, we work with Myopex, and a plethora of other different companies. And there's products that we can give away for raffle, as well as there's 2 winners, two awards that we give out at the end, most committed and most objective change award. So that's exciting. We have great partners in this space of mindfulness and movement who love what we do. We love what they do. A lot of them happen to be veteran owned. Woohoo! And just kicking ass at life. Okay. Doing their best. Okay. What was going on there? Oh, there we go. Hey, I totally that was my animation training last night. Okay. So everyone, with all of that, all of those classes and time and attention that you're going to get with the 21 days, the value is actually $3,500 with the prizes included. So we give out actually $1,000 worth of prizes on this platform with each experience, but your fee is $197. And the best part about it, like just $197. And the best part is you can pay it forward to a friend or a loved one and get 50% off their fee. So when you pay it forward after you sign up. So note that. And then I want to go through, if you want to kind of learn about what people are saying about this program, I've counted like over 250 testimonials right now from just the last 8 months, or just the last period of time running this thing, many months. You can go to movement-rx.com/experience, and there's some video testimonials there as well as written ones that you can look at. And I would highly recommend you do it. Like, find someone that you can relate to. We have veterans, we have company leaders, we have moms, dads, people in different countries, teachers, all doing this program, right? So it meets them where they're at, and you can kind of see some of their feedback. And then results and data. So just a little bit of data, actually a lot of data that we've collected over a period of time. It's always nice to know, like, is this program even making changes on a global level? Yes. So the 3 areas that we look at, right, your perceived stress, which is very much how you handle energy. We have a 43% increase in energy, which is huge, right? A lot of people come into this having like an energy deficit. There's an 18% reduction in pain. What would an 18% reduction in pain mean for you? Like, what would that do for you in your life? Right? No doctor or anyone can ever guarantee you can be pain-free. Now, a lot of people do come out of it pain-free, but no one can ever guarantee that, because pain is subjective, person to person, right? But overall, of the hundreds of thousands of people who have gone through this program, 18% have a reduction in pain. And then we have a 33% improvement in physical function, which is huge. We look at neck, low back, shoulders, knees, ankles, your ability to get on and off the ground, balance, all that stuff. There's a huge improvement. In one of our recent groups, we had someone have a 62% physical function improvement. 62%. That's significant. So you never know, right? What's possible if you don't try. And then I just want to go real quickly through, there's frequently asked questions. This is also on the website. These are the most common questions people ask. If I miss a day, don't worry about it. It's all recorded, right? Where can I learn more? We have resources through the Facebook group, on our platform, as well as just reach out. We're always putting out new information to our tribe and giving them things that they can read. But if you need resources for different areas of health, we can most likely find them for you. What if I already have a mindfulness app? Well, great. This experience, like I said, will give you the baseline understanding of mindfulness meditation itself, the foundational and fundamental knowledge of movement and mindfulness. So whether you're doing already a training program, you're on the Peloton, right, or you're doing the Calm app, great. This will give you another layer of understanding on how to better be on the Peloton, like position your body, right? So your back doesn't hurt, your arms don't hurt, and or how meditation or mindfulness works when you are meditating using Calm, right? You can do both. It doesn't mean you don't have to do one or the other. Like, this will help you in the other areas of your life. Like, this is the baseline layer. What if I want to do this for my company? Yeah, we do this for companies, actually. We've done this for a handful of companies, and they enjoy it. They get their own check-ins too, and they get all the benefits that everyone else gets. So definitely reach out. There's an email there, wellness@movement-rx.com. And then in terms of live sessions, most of the live sessions go at 8 Pacific Standard Time. We do have some Fit and Frees going at 7:30 in the morning. However, if you can't make those, they're recorded, so you can always watch them in your own time, which a lot of people do. Just a couple more questions here. How can I get the best possible outcome from the experience? Is just literally do the mindfulness and movement RX each day, which will literally take you 10 minutes, right? That's it. And then do what's asked of you in the 10 minutes. And anything else you do is just like a cherry on the top, like extra. What is required of me? What times of day? What times of the live sessions? Well, I just mentioned that 8 Pacific Standard Time. That's what's required of you, is just you're investing in this. So show up for those. If you can attend a check-in, that would be fantastic to show face. But if that's not your thing, that's okay, right? All that's required of you is to show up for those mindfulness and movement RX sessions. And that, if you have any questions, if you have questions for Dr. T or John, then come to the check-in, right? And or send getbetter@movement-rx.com an email. I'll have that email in a second. You can always reach out to John, Will, or I. John and I have created a lot of the mindfulness and movement, but if you have questions specifically about that, email us. If you have questions for Will, show up to the yoga classes too. Show up to the check-ins and or email us. We usually get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. And then the money back guarantee, this is a perk, right? If you actually cannot stay in the program and are like not getting anything from it, yes, we do have a full money back guarantee. So, and knock on wood, that's never happened. So what if you don't do Facebook? Well, that's okay. Again, we're not requiring you to do social media here or post a bunch of stuff. We have a group because that is a platform that a lot of people use, so you can come and check it out. But if you don't use Facebook, then and you want to connect, then do your best to make it to the check-ins, right? Work your schedule around so you can make it to the once a week check-ins, and or stay in touch via email that way. That's the best way. Guys, did I miss anything? No? Okay. There's a lot of other frequently asked questions on the website too that you can check out. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, so this is where you can sign up for your next journey, okay? So as I mentioned before, you can sign up here at movement-rx.com/experience. If you have any questions, this is the email. I loved this quote. My dad would always say this, and like a lot of his teachings are still with me. He's actually passed away, but get ready to add years to your life and life to your years, right? That's what this is about. Like, what is life about for you? Is it what's next, always shooting for the someday something? Or do you want to be in the moment? You want to feel better now and enjoy the beautiful sunshine or the rain or the snow or your kids making a funny face in front of you, or, you know, whatever it is, or your spouse smiling. It is whatever it is, right? Being in the present moment is a total gift. And so that's the beauty of this work. Just so happens January 12th is our mindfulness and movement with the focus of low back longevity on January 12th. That starts this Wednesday. Last day to sign up is January 11th. We would love to work with you. And I think that is all we got today, folks.
Right on. Thanks, Dr. T, for leading that, Will, and so excited to be running this with you guys and the program that we've built, and more importantly, excited for you, the audience, to be joining us in this experience. So go ahead, sign up now, do it.
Yeah, we look forward to working with you. Hopefully we'll see you in a couple days. And John and Will, thanks for your time as always.
Yeah, thank everybody for being here. And let's have a good time and sign up for the program. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Take care.